Kamala, who called "Stand Your Ground" law racist, says she'll shoot someone entering her home. Make this make sense, man. Would the real Kamala Harris please stand up? We don't know, because she's flip-flopped on so many different things. Change her stance, but at the same time, she says that her values haven't changed. No one really knows who the real Kamala is. We can only surmise that the real Kamala Harris is this raging leftist, communist, socialist, Marxist, from what she said in the past. And all of a sudden she flipped the script, and now all of a sudden she's for the Second Amendment and she's for people defending themselves, when she literally said the exact opposite a few years ago. So we really don't know where she stands. We believe that she's a weather vane. She just says whatever it is she has to say to whatever audience she's talking to. They call her Camilla the Chameleon. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to show some clips. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon. That's where I'll talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account as well. So follow me there as well. All right, so let's talk about this news now. This comes from the Daily Wire. And they report that, speaking to Oprah Winfrey on Tuesday, Vice President Kamala Harris suddenly championed the right to bear arms and defend oneself in one's home, saying she would shoot someone who would break into her home. Winfrey mentioned Harris acknowledging she was a gun owner in her debate with former President Donald Trump. She said, quote, "I did not know that," Winfrey said, "and I thought that was powerful." So let's play the clip here. Here we go.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
my staff will deal with that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's right. Her staff will come out and say, you know what, she really didn't mean that. They go back on everything that she says. Yet in 2020, Harris said stand your ground laws were racist. Remember that? Saying, quote, "These stand your ground laws in these states that have these citizens arrest laws have often frequently been used as an excuse, if not a cover, for people who are motivated by racism and racial profiling." Let's play that clip here. Here we go.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, and I have personally prosecuted a number of cases and kinds of cases. These stand your ground laws and these states that have these citizen arrest laws have often and frequently been used as an excuse, if not a cover, for people who are motivated by racism and racial profiling. And so we have seen that, and we have seen that it has been used as an excuse to kill Black and brown people, in particular Black and brown young men. And we just have to speak truth about that, no matter how uncomfortable it makes us. And so I really appreciate you raising the point. During these mass shootings, we know that young Black and brown men are being, killed there, and they're being killed in these individual cases. And one of the things I appreciate about Everytown and Moms Demand Action and so many of the advocates is that we understand that each one of these lives is precious and equal in value to their families, to their community, and to us as a society. And so, what we need to do is also recognize that when you have these kinds of laws, like these stand your ground laws, is that it helps to breed the legitimate distrust that so many communities have in the criminal justice system and in law enforcement. And, so in particular in the way that they're applied, and the excuse that some are given with as though it's a shield for their misbehavior and frankly, their racism. When we look at that, and then you also look at what's happening from the White House and the U.S. Department of Justice with people like Michael Flynn, when you look at what's happened in terms of letting people off, we know that there are two systems of justice in America. And That's not deniable. And what it does is, again, it breeds.
She's definitely right about the two-tier justice system. If you're a conservative, you get the book thrown at you. Look at January 6th. If you're a Democrat, they handle you with kid gloves. Look at how Hunter Biden is getting. He should have been locked up by now. They pushing the sentencing back and all these other things. So she's right. I agree with her on that point.
Mistrust. You look at Ahmaud Arbery, you look at Breonna Taylor, and we know that they have not been given justice. I'm actually calling on the Department of Justice, the United States Department of Justice, to investigate what is happening there. But when you have people like Michael Flynn, who has pled guilty and is being let off.
We know that the Michael Flynn thing was a setup. We all know the FBI went in there to try to set up General Flynn. This is an older video here, of course.
It reinforces the idea that when you have power and you have access, there's one form of justice. And when you don't, then you actually get no justice. So there's a lot of work to do, and we're all in it together.
So which one is it, Kamala? Is it okay for you to defend yourself, or is stand your ground laws racist? Which one is it? You can't have it both ways. So again, which one is the real Kamala Harris? Will the real Kamala Harris please stand up? Additionally, as San Francisco's district attorney in May 2007, Harris threatened, quote, "It's people who own guns who are quietly sitting on those guns, and those guns might end up being the weapons of the destruction of a community because they get in the hands of some kid who decide that they like what they see on television and they want to act that way." So this is about just basically saying that we're going to require responsible behaviors among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way that you conduct your affairs. Well, VP Harris, the Fourth Amendment said that you're not allowed to walk in my house like that and look at my things and check to make sure my stuff is locked away or whatever the reason is you want to walk into my house. I'm sorry. See, this is why they hate the Constitution so much, because the Constitution protects us against tyrannical people like Kamala Harris. Quote, the remarks came during a press conference during legislation that Harris helped draft, which sought to impose penalties for gun owners who failed to store their firearms properly at a home, Fox News noted. During the presidential debate, Harris declared, quote, "This business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with that continuous line about stuff." But she said it. She said she would do it. What is she talking about? So how is it lying when the words literally came out your mouth, "We're going to take those guns"? But Harris previously advocated on multiple occasions during her failed 2020 presidential campaign for a mandatory gun buyback program of assault weapons. Examples can be found. They got the examples here. So what is it? Mandatory means that they're going to take your guns. You have to do it. So it's not an option. So that is a gun confiscation. So right here she says, we never said we're going to take your guns. But down here she says, yeah, it's going to be mandatory. We are going to take your guns. Again, will the real Kamala Harris please stand up? The remarks from Harris sparked a variety of reactions online. Quote, Kamala Harris advocated for door-to-door mandatory gun buyback program, said journalist Stephen L. Miller. Maybe a journalist worth a professional reputation would follow up on that one. Of course they won't. The Trump campaign responded to Harris's remarks. Quote, can Kamala describe the make and model of the gun she allegedly owns and explain why she spent years advocating for door-to-door mandatory gun confiscation? This is called pandering, and nobody is buying the bull S. Facts. Attorney and political commentator Laura Powell mocked Harris by highlighting her past support for law enforcement to enter people's homes to inspect the way their firearms are stored. Quote, hey, Kamala, I'm sure you understand that we're going to have to come into the sanctity of your locked home to check to see if you're being responsible, she wrote. Facts, facts, facts. If y'all want to do it to us, we got to be able to do it to you. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.